Hello, I'm Michael Condry, and I'm going to give you an overview of a lecture series that we put together here uh, titled Technology Trends and Business Opportunities in Electronic Health, which are driven by Industry 4.0. This is just an overview to interest you in the presentation. So we'll talk a little bit about Industry 4.0, conceptually what it is, where it came from. We'll discuss the technologies that are driving Industry 4.0 that make it happen. And these technologies lead us to somewhat what I consider the ultimate of Industry 4.0, which is the digital twin or cyber physical systems. Then we'll move on and take a look at medicine, in particular health and medicine devices. We take a brief look at advancements of technology as it relates to medicine and some of the opportunities created by health data, and some of the devices on the market, both in the ones for the medical field and the ones that are considered for the consumer devices, which are particularly interesting because of their correlation to Industry 4.0. With that, we'll take a little bit more deep dive into the architecture of how these devices work and the data they create. After reviewing the devices and the data they create, we're going to look into the challenge of what we have to do with managing this health data. We first start with where all it can come from. As before, we have medical information, we have consumer information. All that is valuable. So with that, we're going to propose an information structure which will allow us to define appropriate security and make the data available for the many possible users, not just managing an individual's health, but managing community, pandemics, and other such challenges. And that's our next step, is to what are the opportunities? Because it does create many opportunities if we have good, reachable, authenticated, secured health data. To make it work, we're going to have good standards and good requirements that we agree on domestically and internationally. We have to look at device quality. You go to the store in America and it just says, I measure your blood pressure. It doesn't really say how accurate it is. And they are not all consistent. And having a standard there that evolves the device quality would be very helpful for any user, as well as knowing the value of the data. We talk about a security structure so that we get appropriate trust and privacy, and the data can be useful. In that, we also consider some domestic and international considerations and summarize the requirements for you. Lastly, we end up with a summary of this presentation, which considers the devices, the data, security, and the business opportunities, because there are many. And take a look at what do we want to do. First of all, we want to work and both products and research in the health device area, in particular medical and health devices that produce data that we can use for more advanced operations. We need standards for this data organization so that it works well and people can use it and that people can get value out of it. It's not just random collections. We need overall regulation so people know what they're dealing with, know what they're committing to, and know what they're getting out of it. And maybe we could talk a little bit about the future of medicine in general by establishing a human digital twin, which evolved from Industry 4.0. Thank you very much for your time.